Hi there, I'm Victoria Gallagher from HipTalk.com. Today we're going to talk about imagination. So imagination is one of the most important skills you really can ever learn. At least Albert Einstein said so many years ago. He said imagination is more important than knowledge. Now why is that? Why would such an intelligent man such as Albert Einstein say something like imagination is more important than knowledge? So Harvard many years ago did a study, and they were looking at what makes people successful. And it came down to skills, knowledge, and attitude. And there was a certain percentage of people that had gained success based on just knowledge alone, and some people had gained success on just their skills alone. But the majority of the people out there, agree that your attitude is really the thing that drives your success in life, whatever you're trying to achieve. Success just driving down the road to success in creating your own empire and your big company, or having a great relationship, or getting in shape, whatever it is. You can have all the skills and all the knowledge in the world, but without a good attitude, you're probably not going to utilize those skills that you have or the knowledge. So, what does attitude have to do with imagination? Well, think about this. Imagine that you are getting called in to a meeting with your boss. All of a sudden, your boss says, "Hey, I need you to come into my office and talk to you for a minute." You can actually think of this in two ways. You can imagine the worst case scenario, that your boss is going to give you bad news, or that it has something to do with you or your performance, or something really bad is going to happen. And so you're using your imagination in a very negative way. So that's going to have an impact on your attitude. Now, on the other hand, you could also imagine that it's going to be a very positive experience. You're maybe feeling like, wow, maybe today's the day I'm going to get that promotion. Maybe today's the day that I'm going to get that new office that I've been looking at. Or, it could be something really good. And so depending on which way you use your imagination, it's going to work for you or it's going to work against you. And so it's going to cause you to shift your attitude, because if you go in there and you're feeling a little bit like on edge, you're going to have a different demeanor and body language. And the attitude affects so many things, and how you're imagining things is going to affect how you behave. Let's use another example. Let's say that you want to have a conversation with your relationship. And it could be any relationship. It could be your lover, it could be your friend, it could be your parent, whoever it is. And so just imagine that you are thinking about this conversation. And let's just say it's kind of a touchy conversation. It's going to be maybe it might be a conversation that would be more difficult to have. So if you imagine this like, oh, as soon as I tell this person what I want to tell them, they're just going to get upset, and we're going to get into an argument, and it's going to be really tense, and everything's going to be ruined. Or you could imagine it going much more positively, and imagine that person being more receptive. And that is one way to actually approach having a conversation with somebody, is to imagine how you'd like that to go. And what tends to happen is, again, you are going to unconsciously be acting as if the thing that you're imagining is happening. You're going to be acting that way in subtle ways. Your body language will change, your tone of voice will change, the way that you use your hands and your eyes, and everything is going to change when you interact with this person. So if you are giving this person subtle cues that you're that you have some fear or some resistance or some judgment or something negative is happening, then they're going to pick up on that. Not necessarily at a conscious level, but at an unconscious level, they're going to feel that. So the next thing, of course, the final thing that we want to talk about with your imagination is just imagination when it comes to anything in life that you are working toward. So let's just say that you are wanting to work toward getting in good shape. Well, you can just imagine yourself failing and eating the bad foods and going down that road and allowing your mind to kind of carry you down a road until you finally do find yourself eating the foods that you're not supposed to eat. Or you can use your imagination to see yourself eating the foods that you really do want to eat. And then you're going to, when I say do want to eat, the foods that are going to cause you to be healthy, cause you to lose the weight, cause you to attain your goal. And the more you imagine those things, the more you're going to develop a taste for those things. So also imagining yourself successful in business. So if you say have a goal to start a business or find a new job, or maybe even it's not business, maybe it's in school, maybe you're in college or you're studying for a test. If you imagine yourself having a hard time with any of those things, and just your mind will have a tendency to continue to think in that same line of thinking. So if you begin on a negative train, you're just going to continue thinking more and more negatively, and that just kind of becomes a very habitual way of thinking. And you're with the like attracts like energy. If you begin to think in positive ways, then more positive thoughts are going to be born out of what you're imagining. So my suggestion to you is that you take time each day to visualize the way you'd like your day to go, the way you'd like your week to go, the way you'd like your month to go, the way you'd like your year to go. Just take time to imagine it going your way. And as you do that, you're going to find yourself thinking in more positive and productive ways. You're going to find yourself more motivated to take action on the things that you need to take action on in order to cause those things to happen. And this really can apply in any area of your life. So you can choose to imagine the worst case scenario and feel bad and feel negative and go down that path, or you can use this most powerful part of your mind, your subconscious mind, to imagine yourself in the scenarios that you would like to have, and continue making yourself do that on a daily basis. And eventually it just becomes a habit, and you become somebody who naturally thinks in more positive ways about yourself and your life and your future and your success. And these are the kinds of things that we do in hypnosis. A lot of people, when they listen to hypnosis for the first time, they feel like, oh, I'm just using my imagination, because it's something that they're familiar with. Hypnosis it isn't something you haven't done before. You do hypnotize yourself and get hypnotized all the time. You're just not aware that that is hypnosis. When you're deeply in some sort of state of fantasy or imagination, that is hypnosis. So we help you to imagine your life the way that you want it to be, for a good 20-25 minutes. And that is an extremely powerful, resourceful state of mind. So you can do that on your own, or you can go to hiptalk.com. You can learn all about self-hypnosis by signing up for my free self-hypnosis step-by-step video training course. And it's totally free. You just need to put in your email address and you'll start getting the first step right away. We have over 500 hypnosis downloads that people have been able to achieve all kinds of wonderful changes and successes in their life. So this is Victoria Gallagher from HipDoc.com, wishing you a wonderful day and using your imagination to attract the things that you want to attract in your life. Bye now.